guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far. So today we are going to go over the best and the worst products from Kat Von D. Yes, I know this is my favorite brand, but just because it's my favorite doesn't mean that every product is perfect. And I really like these type of videos when people own a lot from one brand, because when you own a lot from one brand, you kind of get to see the consistency and you kind of get to see which items are a little bit above the rest or a little bit worse than the rest. And so I think I'm a good person to tell you about that, since I own so many different types of products. And just because something doesn't work for me, obviously there's probably someone out there that it works for. So I'm just sharing my experience so I can help other people become savvy shoppers if they're just getting into Kat Von D for the first time. But of course, everyone's allowed their own opinion, so please don't be offended by that. So if you're not subscribed to this channel, please consider doing so, and let's jump on into it. So one of the things that I think is the best by Kat Von D is her holiday palettes. I see a lot of complaints on Instagram that, like, for example, the Too Faced holiday palettes. I love Too Faced and I love a lot of their products, but their holiday palettes, even though the outer packaging is exciting, the inside seems to look the same like as the year before. Whereas Kat Von D kind of just like, hers are so creative. She gives you the really creative outer packaging. This is this year's holiday palette, the Saint and Sinner, just in case you don't know, but I think most of you have seen it by now. And then the inside, you get 24 different shades with 3 different finishes. There's lots of unique shades and it's just beautiful. And when you're going to ask someone to pay more for a holiday palette, the quality needs to be there, and this quality is definitely there. So I highly recommend this palette, which is still available at Sephora. I think the Kat Von D website sold out. I don't know like if and when they're doing a restock, but if I find out, I'll let you know. So keep track on my Instagram. I also have last year's holiday palette, which is the Metal Matte palette. And at first I didn't have this, and actually a friend gave it to me, which was so sweet. She goes by Danielle Darkwing on Instagram. She does not have a YouTube channel, so if you ever want to show her some love on Instagram, feel free to do that. She's such a nice person. She's really awesome. So these are the shades from the Metal Matte palette, which was last year's holiday palette. On the bottom, you get all these lovely colors for the matte, and then the top has like that shiny metal formula. I'm actually wearing this palette today on my eyes. I really love it. If you need a better look, I will post a picture on Instagram of this look. I'm wearing Ribbon and Silk, which are like the pink and purple, a little bit of Vault, and then Twinkle. I kind of put that over the top, and it just makes the lid like really shimmery and shiny. I love a lot of these top shades. They're out of this world. And there was nothing wrong with the palette. The reason she didn't want it anymore was because she's more of a neutral person, and just kind of got excited by like the holidays and bought it, but she really wears more neutral colors. So she wasn't getting much use out of it, and she knew that I really wanted it. So I thought that was so sweet. So it's definitely a good quality palette. Most people who have it really do enjoy the quality. And again, it has the wow factor in the packaging. So next we're going to move on to her regular palettes. I mean, some are limited edition, but palettes that are not the holiday palette. So this is the OG Shade and Light palette. I mean, it's the second generation packaging, but it's like the matte palette. You get all these different matte shades, which they're like butter, these shadows. When I was first like getting into makeup and still having trouble maybe blending some other brands, these practically blend themselves. I wear them a lot like when I'm not filming and doing photography, because they're good for every day. And just my mom is always so impressed by how these look on my eye, and I just really love them. And this is just like the perfect neutral palette. Like, you don't really need another neutral palette once you have this, because it's a staple. I mean, at least a neutral matte palette. I mean, you might want a neutral shimmer, but it's such a staple, and I highly recommend it to everyone, either if you're just starting a collection, or if you have a collection but you don't have an all matte neutral palette. So I really like the quality of this, and I like the quality of a bulk of her shadows. I have Pastel Goth, which is the same kind of like buttery quality, and then I have Serpentina, which is like these jewel tones. They're just gorgeous. And then I have the Alchemist palette, which is now permanent. It's like the highlighter palette, but it can be used as shadow also. But there is one palette that I do not think is the best, and it's not the worst, but I don't think it's like one of her best products. So what actually ended up happening is, you know how there's a glimmer version of this now? I don't have it to show you because this is going to shock everyone. I returned it. If you go back to my first video about it, and this is why I mentioned this in another video, I want to start doing my a lot of my reviews. I want to call them first impressions because we changed our mind over time. But I even said the first day I had it that I kind of struggled to do a look, and I was happy with my look in the end, but it really wasn't as opaque as I wanted. And even though I did talk about some of the issues that I had with the palette in that video, I think I was forcing myself to love it because I had known about it for like 6 months and I had it so hyped up in my mind. I really just wanted a companion to this that would give me like a really like metallic look on the lid, and that really wasn't what I ended up getting. There was a lot of different finishes, and 2 out of the 4 finishes kind of you almost needed glitter glue like to use them correctly, and that's just not something that, like, with my health, that's just like one step too much for me to use glitter glue. It just wasn't what I wanted it to be. I had all these hopes and it didn't live up to those hopes. Just like anything else, there's some people who love it, but even though it was a hard decision, it was getting close to like the 90 days that you have to return something to Sephora. I was like, I really need to just give it back and use something that, the money towards something that I love more. So I don't regret returning it, and we just changed our mind about product over time, and that was not a good fit for me. What is a good fit for me is I have these Metal Crush shadows, which I had even before that came out, and this is more of what I want, just something that is so metallic. I could do most of my eye matte with that palette, and then something neutral that will go metallic over the lid. So I do use these Metal Crush. I love these so much. They are a little bit pricey. They're $21, but you could wait till the VIB sale and get 20% off. I have 2 of these and I absolutely love them. It's an amazing formula. So most of her shadow formulas are amazing, but that glimmer palette didn't live up to the mark for me, and maybe it's just the fact that I had something different that I imagined it would be, and then it wasn't that. Another thing that is one of her best products is this Lolita eyeshadow blush. It's such a gorgeous color, and Lolita is her famous lipstick, and this is actually had recently come back to sale because I know there was like a big drama when this came out because not a lot of people got one. It was really hard to get, but they recently brought it back temporarily. And if you did not get one, that's okay, because they said in 2018 they're making it a permanent product. So you can definitely get your hands on this. It makes a gorgeous shadow, and you could also use it as a blush if that's the kind of color you like to wear for a blush. I use it more as a shadow, but it's just a really great, smooth, creamy, pigmented formula in a very unique color. So the next thing that's kind of like a best and a worst, so we'll go with the worst one first. I do not have good luck with her Lock-It liquid foundation. I did mention when I talked about this in a past video that I did buy the wrong shade. Like, it was too light for me, so that was one of the problems. But the thing I don't care for is almost too full coverage, and I know that almost doesn't make sense, but if you've never tried it, like, it's just so thick. Like, I don't know, it's just too full coverage for me. To me, it's like, it feels beyond full coverage, and that's just something to be aware of if you're considering buying it. You have to like a really, really full coverage look. Like, think of the most full coverage foundation you have, and then think, would you want it one step further? There's people who live by this, so definitely, it could go both ways, but I think it's not one of the best products, and that's just my opinion on it. But on the other hand, her Lock-It powder foundation, I've had such great luck with. I'm actually wearing it today on top of the Tarte Shape Tape concealer, and it's the Light 44, this one. I just enjoy this so much. I just think it's a fabulous product. I don't really have a lot of powder foundations, and I don't really have a reason to search for another one because I love this one so much. It's kind of funny, this actually gets more hype, but to me, this was the one that worked out. So you never know what's going to work for you. And I got this before I knew I could return open makeup. Definitely return things that don't work for you and get your money back. So another thing that's fabulous by her is her liquid lipsticks. These are just two I happen to have in the room from another video, Haze and Haze 2, but they're all fabulous. There's never been a dud. Like, I've never had a color that like I couldn't use because of the formula. The formula is consistent through all the colors, which I think is very important, because there's some brands where it's not consistent. Like, you'll have 3 good lipsticks and suddenly you order like a darker color and it's patchy. That does not happen with these. There's a lot of consistency. Sorry, I'm almost like losing my voice today. So there's a lot of consistency. I have it like, I have 15 full size, I believe, plus some minis, and they're so comfortable. Like I said, your opinion changes as you go on. So when I first started makeup, I might have said some other things, but at this point, to me, this and Dose of Colors are tied for the most comfortable liquid lipstick on the market. So if you've had bad luck maybe with some other liquid lipsticks being too dry for you, but you have not tried this one, I think you should give it a try, because it is very comfortable and you may enjoy it. So I obviously live for these, or I would not have 15. So it's definitely one of Kat Von D's best products. One of the other things that I think is considered a standout is her Shade and Light contour brush. This was in my favorites video. This really helped me contour. Like, I was really struggling before I got this, and now that I have it, I'm getting better at it all the time. It is kind of a pricey brush, so you may want to keep your eye open during the VIB sale at Sephora and see if you can grab one for 20% off. But if you struggle at all with your contour, or contouring just takes you a long time and you wish you could do it faster, this will change your life. Like, people kept telling me, and it took me a long time to want to put out the money, but it was worth it in the end. And it comes in its own little case, because dual-ended brushes, they can get dirty otherwise. So it comes in this awesome little kind of coffin-esque case, which I love. So one of the best products. And then on the other hand, though, I bought an eye brush. This is the number 50 eye brush. It came out around the time of the Glimmer palette. I mean, it's a very good brush. It's a very nice brush, but I don't think it's anything exceptional, anything that another eye brush can't do. So even though it's good, I kind of think that I wouldn't spend this much money again on an eye brush. But like I said, the face one is like a totally different story. It's worth every penny. So that's just my experience. If you want to try her brushes and you don't know what to try first, I think I'd go with the dual-ended one or different face one as your first brush purchase. So the last thing I have left, and a lot of the things, like the foundation, like I said, it's not my favorite, but the reason is because it's too full coverage. So I could definitely see how someone else might like it. It's not that it's the worst thing on earth. I just think it's kind of like weaker than some of her other products. This is really the only product that like I really like. Oh my God, I don't know. This is the mascara. It's called Immortal Lash. It has roses on the packaging. So appealing. Oh my. The wand looks like a lethal weapon. Like, hopefully you can see it if I put my hands. It is like, I don't know what it is, but it's so spiky. I cannot use this. Like, I cannot use it. Like, there might be someone out there who could use it, but I struggle with it. I struggle with it a lot. And the ratings on the Sephora site are not very high. I actually think it's getting discontinued. I think they're trying to do something cool and different, which is wonderful. But I think in this case, it didn't work out, at least not for me. And again, I got this before I knew I could return it. Like, I haven't even really done like one full application because I just can't use the wand. So I think I'm going to give it to my cousin before it expires, because she has this daughter that could like use anything. Like, she will figure out how to use this lethal weapon wand. So I think that's all the products I have for you today. So I hope that was helpful in some way. And like I said, I love Kat and I love the brand. I'm not trying to bash. I just want everyone to know what products I think are like up here, in the middle, and down here, so people can spend their money wisely if they are new to the brand. So if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and let me know in the comments what products you have from Kat Von D that you love, and if there are any duds for you, like the mascara was for me, that you just can't use. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much. Bye.